Val, why would you write your debut novel with the biggest jerk of all? So I was tired of nice guys. I had read so many fantasy books at the time, and they're always redeemable and want to be redeemed. I don't mind them being all powerful, but I love flawed characters. I like the idea that Cedric was an a-hole, very mean, not only to Angeline, but pretty much everyone. Let's be honest. And cocky on some levels, and then gets his butt beat, which is also why I'm a big fan of The Witcher. But I was just tired of reading these really redeemable characters, and I wanted a character who wasn't really per se redeemable, and that's why I had to self-publish it, right? Because there's not a market for that. That is me having fun and creating a story that maybe someone else might enjoy. But it does have a lot to offer. That story is inspired heavily by the Russian knight hero tales and a lot of Slavic superstitions and Slavic lore and Polish mythologies and folk tales. I pack a lot, and it's so amazing when you guys email me in my newsletter where I'm sharing these behind the scenes and these more detailed compendium entries kind of style thing, that you guys noticed, right? That you're like, some of you feel he's redeemable. I would say he starts to redeem himself by the third book, The Oracle. He starts to understand he can't save her. He can't keep throwing him out there. Now, granted, does his temper ever go away? Absolutely not. In fact, his temper becomes everyone's laughing point, I think, and Artemis, and then take advantage of it, and it's glorious. And it's always fun in book 2 and 5. We're sort of in the POV of other characters in the world, and just knowing their thoughts and impression on Cedric is kind of funny. But yeah, I just wanted a jerk. Is that the only time I've written a jerk? Absolutely not. Under VC Willis, My Melma Romance, we have The Glorious Champion's Lord, which is a free ebook on my website. So if you want to check out the very bratty and obnoxious and brazen Ashton, he's something else entirely. He's a jerk in his own right, maybe not in the same vein as Cedric, but they definitely compete for being obnoxious brats on their own, on different points and different aspects. But I would say Ashton is the more passionate out of the two, even though Cedric is the half incubus vampire, right? And yes, Ashton is sort of a type of vampire that I've created for that Trayvon family saga. So it's interesting to see the early rumblings of what will become the birth of Blood Eaters kind of vibe for that series. I've also written jerks in the Honeycombings short stories novellas, but most of the time those are like, so the pattern I did for the Honeycombings, like urban legends and the ghost and crypt rom-com eroticas there, is that it always starts off with them breaking up or bad breakups or finding their significant other cheating on them. So it's sort of the jilted lover kind of angle, and they're on the rebound with the Chupacabra and Jersey Devil and Bloody Mary, because why not? But most of the time, the jerks are sort of like the opposing force. And I think the fun part about that is that I create the epilogues for each of these novellas that show the POV of whoever wronged the main character who was cheated on, and them seeing them with these entities and being like, oh God, I cheated on her and now she's hooking up with the devil himself. That's Neckaboo's Jersey Devil. It's a good time. And those novellas are on Kindle Unlimited individually, or you can pick up signed copies of sets of 3 for the cryptids and the ghosts. And hopefully I'll get around to writing more. Carnal Throne series, that's the Queen's Incubus. That is the sauciest book I've written today. And there is that's probably the closest one to truly being a dark fantasy. It's got the most trigger warnings, and I push a lot of envelopes. That's been an interesting dive. But in general, I kind of like Cedric was fun because he was a jerk. I had no obligation to let him be a do-gooder or choose the right choices. So a village could be decimated and he could just walk away and walk past it and shrug. He's only curious about going into a place like that because there's something there he wants. So he's very greedy and self-centered in that aspect. But then again, when you start to discover his past a little bit, you're like, maybe, I don't know. It just depends on you, right? So, yeah, Val likes writing jerks.